Hello and welcome to a new video. Today I am exploring some of the Louisville Loop that I've never actually gone through before. So this is actually the portion that goes from Riverview Park, or what I had always known as the Greenwood Boat Docks, which is at the end of Greenwood Road off of Old Cane Run by the Ohio River. So I started there, and then I'm starting this video a little bit into the ride, but I'm riding down the portion of the Louisville Loop, because technically you can go all the way from the Farnsley Mormon Landing, which is further down here, closer where we can get back to the other side of Dixie Highway. It's off of the Greenbelt. You can go all the way from the Farnsley Mormon Landing, and I've done a video there before, so I can include a link to it in this. You can go all the way from there to the Riverview Park, Greenwood Boat Docks Park, and then you can come out and take this trail. It's part of the Louisville Loop, and you're technically able to ride this all the way down to downtown Louisville. Now, I don't know that I'll be going that entire trip today, because I'm on this Segway Ninebot Max electric scooter that doesn't quite have a you know, battery that's capable of a 50-mile range or something to go that entire distance and back. I don't know that's 50 miles, but you can go from here to Shawnee Park, to Chickasaw Park, and then you can also go down to downtown Louisville. Now, not all of it is this paved path, like this multi-use path like this for, you know, running, cycling, walking, electric scooters, what have you. Not the entire path isn't like this. I think there's some of it you have to cut through surface streets. So we'll see how that goes. But I've been, you know, doing videos going to different parts of the city and going through different parts of the Louisville Loop, and this is one area that I had not gone through yet. And if you're wondering why I'm using this electric scooter here instead of one of the e-bikes, I just don't feel like hauling the e-bikes around, because I do not have a pickup truck or a large SUV, and the only real solutions, if I want to fit it in the trunk of my car, I have to take the front wheel off and put the seats down. That's a big pain. Or I need to get a trailer hitch installed and get a bike rack, but the challenge there is getting a bike rack that can handle bikes up to, you know, like 100 pounds. Because e-bikes are a little bit heavier than your standard road bike. So I have a newer car, so I didn't really want to put a trailer hitch on the back of the car that I've got. Now, at some point, I may shoot a video with and see if I can get my brother to come along, because he has a pickup truck, so he could take the bikes and stuff, or, you know, I could borrow somebody's truck or something like that. But it's a lot of hassle just to go for kind of a quick ride. So going along here, we'll see. Like I said, I haven't actually been down through most of this path, because some of this, I mean, as you can probably see in the video, the condition of this is a little bit older pavement. It's been here for a while. I mean, it's not terrible condition. It's not full of potholes or anything like that. Because technically, the concept behind the Louisville Loop is that you would be able to, via bike, or I guess on foot if you really wanted to, or, you know, of course, e-vehicles like scooters, one-wheels, EUCs, e-bikes, what have you. The idea would be that you could have a bike path that could do a loop of the entire city, which in theory is really cool. In practice, there are some gaps, and in some areas it goes a pretty roundabout route, where if you're wanting to get from somewhere out here, say, kind of the PRP area or, you know, the Riverport area, what have you. If you want to get from somewhere in this general vicinity and you want to get from here to, say, downtown Louisville, you could do it. It's probably just going to be about you know, depending on where you start on the path, you know, 10 to 15 mile ride or something. So that's, you know, doable. May not be something you would get to work and not be drenched in sweat, but it is doable. But if you want to get from, say, here to St. Matthews or other parts of city or Barstown Road, you're not going to have great luck on that. Let's see. And this scooter does not have suspension, so. But I'm actually riding it in a little bit lower power mode because I'm trying to stretch the battery enough to get a decent chunk of this trail explored. And at some point I may jump ahead in the video if it's all just kind of similar. If it's all just kind of similar scenery. Yeah, but this is off of the Greenbelt, which is the expressway that connects to the Gene Snyder. And there's a lot of industrial buildings back here. So there's, you know, I believe it's called Riverport or Worldport or something like that. It's like the general name for the area. There's a lot of warehouse type shipping places. And then there's also classic restaurants. So Mike Lenning's is out here, which you may have heard of here in Louisville. It's a fish place. It's off the river. And then, well, I guess that's really the main landmark aside from all the businesses. And I believe there's some power plant stuff up here. And this probably would be interesting to come through on an e-bike. A little bit faster speed, a little bit longer range, don't have to worry about anything. Yeah, there's the LG&E plant over to the left. Yeah, I think I'll probably jump ahead a little bit. Alright, so that was skipping ahead a little bit because that was a pretty long straight stretch with not much going on. So this is a restaurant called Lindsay's Kitchen. We're passing by. There's a little convenience store, I think. Now, like when I was younger in this area, all of this wasn't here. All of this path, it did not go back here. So this is what I'm interested to see, is how this all loops back through here. So LG&E power station. Because something would be really nice, I know a lot of people hate bike stuff, but if there was some type of way to get bike infrastructure that didn't have to make you do a loop on the outside of the city, and there's a little bit easier way to go through the areas you're actually wanting to go to, especially with the popularity of electric kick scooters, like the Lime and Bird and whatever brands. It seems like it would make a lot of sense to have more infrastructure where people, if they want to, you know, zip 5 miles from their house to a restaurant, it could be a little bit easier to accomplish. There's a lot of train tracks. Oh, and over there, up in the distance, is a power plant. I guess I should look where I'm going. Oh, there's a lot of gravel here. So I'll have to just check the range and see how I'm doing as I go along, because this is mostly flat ground, which should be a little bit more conducive to not spending a ton of battery power. Because when I go for rides on, you know, the different e-vehicles I have in the Highlands, the problem is there's just a lot of hills. Some of them are pretty prolonged, you know, longer hills, so you do tend to kill your battery power going up a ton of relatively steep grades that are long distance. As opposed to this seems to be a little bit more level. This is kind of isolated though. Not sure what all is actually around here. I'll probably go a little bit faster on the way back, because my typical routine when I'm taking an e-bike or something to help manage my range anxiety a little bit is to go a little bit easier on the way to something than I am on the way back. So that way, on the way back, if I just want to get back quicker, I can. Oh, so there's a little bridge here. Yeah, this is all pretty interesting because I haven't been through here before. And when you look up, you know, when I was first thinking about getting an e-bike, I looked up videos on different trails and paths in the city of Louisville, and there weren't a ton, so that's part of why I started recording videos. It was just, you know, maybe somebody else is looking for the same. And two, I just enjoy recording videos. Oh, there goes the bell. I enjoy just recording videos on these rides just to be able to watch them back and kind of look at the scenery. Figure that might be something nice to have in the future, you know, that reaches a point I'm no longer able to do this. And two, I would like to go on vacation again and take some of this stuff with me and be able to go do this in other cities. Because there are a lot of cities that have much better bike infrastructure than Louisville, Kentucky. And there are also a lot that have worse, so. And you also have to look up the laws for scooters and e-bikes, all that stuff, and see what's legal in various places. Because there's a lot of stuff that you're not likely to get in trouble for, but my thing is like, well, what could you get in trouble for? So I guess this is probably going between the river and Old Cane Run, maybe? Not sure exactly where this is, what this is closest to. See, once I get the... Because the cruise control in this thing kicks in once you hold the throttle in the same position for a certain amount of time. So when I get that to kick in again, I'll check my phone and see what this is closest to. Right now I really have no idea where this is. There's a junkyard of some sort, salvage yard or something. Okay, scooter, kick in again. I would assume that there's probably a lot of trails off of here that people go through on dirt bikes and four-wheelers and such. Mountain bikes. I don't know any of this area well enough to try to traverse it myself. And that's where a lot of times I use the All Trails app to check stuff, to see what trails there are, and you can also just go look at Google Maps and then hope that it's been updated somewhat recently. All right, I'm not quite sure where this is. Let's see. I had not done my research enough to know which way to go at that intersection, so I need to go right, because if you go left, it takes you down by the Ohio River, past like Mill Creek. I guess there's a school over there, or maybe not, I can't remember, but it's not the direction I want to go. This is the direction that goes down towards other stuff. And it looks like there's a bunch of MSD property through here, so the Metropolitan Sewer District. So I think that's where some of the roads and stuff back here go to. Now it seems like this, because like a lot of times I've gone on night rides on stuff, on some of the e-bikes, or I've taken my little Honda Navi motorcycle out and gone for night rides places. You know, the motorcycle on the roads where it's legal, and the bikes where there's bike paths. Out here, it looks like you would mostly have almost no lights going on. You'd be kind of off the main road. So if you go out here, there'd be no, you need to have good headlight whenever you take out here, because there's no street lamps or anything, or lights that run along the path. Alright, so there's a street sign up here. It tells where to go. So there's River Gardens, Chickasaw Park, Shawnee Park. Hopefully there's signage throughout. I'm not sure what the River Gardens are, but I guess we'll find out. I think this is the section that goes through some residential neighborhoods again. So if it's roads like this, it's fine. This, you know, neighborhood roads where people typically don't tend to go super fast. It's just sometimes it'll dump you out on roads where it's, you know, a 45-mile-per-hour speed limit. Nobody even adheres to that. So at least it's 25-mile-per-hour residential roads. It is funny because, you know, I was at home before I decided to go do anything. The weather was nice and beautiful. Then when I get ready to leave and I get out here, it looks kind of cloudy. It's not supposed to rain today though, so hopefully I'll stay rain-free. Some ice poochie. Go home, doggy. Go home. Even though I love animals, sometimes you gotta be a little bit safe when you go for rides on this kind of stuff, because dogs love to chase you. And then they frequent move, they'll run in front of you and you slow down. That's how I got bit before. In that case, I had the e-bike that was relatively fast, so I was actually able to get away. If it's on this thing, you might not be able to. I'm not even sure which road this is still, or I guess it's Lee's Lane. Okay. I don't know if you have to take the main road or what here. Well, I guess we'll keep going and see what the River Gardens are. Yeah, that's a 45-mile-per-hour road. So the River Gardens are supposed to be in 0.2 miles, so pretty close. It's looking behind me, make sure no cars are coming. Yeah, I don't know if I want to go on the side of a 45-mile-per-hour road. But you can. So I know there, out of people in Louisville who go for all the e-rides, there are a number of people that have the EUCs, which have higher top speeds. That might be a good excursion to take one of those on. So this is the Riverside Gardens. Never been here before. Yes, that's a little park. So let's see, I'm going to look on my phone on the GPS and see where I am relative to everything. So it's wanting me to go down Campground Road. And I'm sitting somewhere around 80% battery, so I still have plenty. I guess I can go back and look at the that road and see what it looks like. Looks like this gazebo's seen better days. It's almost barely left standing. And then there's, I guess, what used to be a concession stand, or a restroom or something. Yeah, so there's a little path that loops around stuff. I guess this may be the restrooms. I guess the other thing was a concession stand, kind of what the build out of it looked like. So it looked like it had a window that opened. Yeah, those are restrooms over there. Alright, so I'll go back this way. Because to Chickasee Park, oh, let's see, so it's a good distance here. Okay, time to turn it on high power mode. So top speed on this is about, it's advertised as 18.6 miles per hour. 5.3 miles. So I'll look and see what this looks like. I also need to check what the battery percentage is at on this. I haven't used that much to begin with. It says it's 5 miles to get back to the park that I started from. Yeah, 78%. So we'll see what happens. As long as I have the juice to get back. I don't know though, this is just being on the shoulder of a 45 mile per hour road. I'm not sure if I actually want to do that or not. Well, it shows there's bike lane. I mean, it's the kind of bike lane that's just in the shoulder. So if you're wanting to go this route, and you want to go the full length of it, and you want to go from, Farnsley, Mormon Landing, Riverview Park, that trail, you will have to go out here and roll along the side of the street on essentially the shoulder, where people will probably going pretty fast. I mean, it doesn't seem to be super populated right now. Doesn't seem to have a ton of traffic going on, but again, I guess one positive is this is all relatively flat, so it's not super hilly. And again, I may in a minute here jump ahead. This is all just kind of similar scenery. I might jump ahead a little bit on this video. So the road does narrow a little bit here, and you get even less of the bike lane on the shoulder. So this is a little bit precarious, especially since there are large, you know, semis and tractor trailers and, you know, larger trucks like that that will come through. So this this isn't the most confidence-inspiring part of the trip. And two, as always, when you have the bike lanes that are essentially just in the shoulder of a lane, you know, it's always just covered in debris and rocks, gravel, glass, random trash that people throw in their cars. There's just a lot of stuff that gets in your way. And this is just going down Campground Road. So I've been going straight down this same road for quite a while at this point. So I don't think I'm going to have the range to go all the way to Shawnee Park. I think I'm going to try to get to Chickasaw Park, unless I reach a tipping point where the range won't be enough. Yeah, I think it's pretty much, I just have to keep going down this stupid road for quite a while. So this is where you have to stop at a stop sign. This is Ralph Avenue and Campground Road. And again, most of the bike lane here is just some painted lines on the shoulder. But let's keep going along. So 3 miles from Chickasaw Park. I think I'm around like 72% battery, so my goal is to get there with 60%, so that should be clearly enough to get back. Looks like there's some type of vulture or bird chowing down. Unfortunately, deceased raccoon. Still just more of the same here. You know, a lot of the stretches of, you know, Louisville Loop path, you do get a little bit of interesting scenery. I mean, here you mostly, on one side, it's an overgrown fence line where everything is just private property with a bunch of signs saying private property, do not enter, trespassers will be prosecuted. And then on the other side, you have, you know, smattering of houses and parking areas for trucking companies and what have you. So I'm not sure how heavily utilized this section of bike path is. How likely you are on a random day to come out here and interact with multiple other riders. I'm not quite sure what the chances of that are. So let's see. So in the grand scheme of things, oh, the bike lane ends, great. I'm still 2.3 miles away. So I think I'll be able to swing this. It's going to be tight getting back. Tight, tight, tight. There's a truck coming. I hate when this happens, when you take a bike path that just ends. And I don't know if it's caught on camera. I just saw a groundhog or something running over on the side into a ditch. A bunch of glass. I'm sure this looks really funny with me riding this electric scooter with a GoPro on my chest, wearing a helmet. Yeah, I don't know if I want to keep doing this. This is not roads that are very hospitable to bikes. I mean, it's not super crowded, but yeah, I think I'm gonna turn around. I don't want to go all the way down through here on these non-bike path roads. Seems like that seems like it's asking a bit much. I mean, it is interesting because it looks like there's some graffitis and signs and stuff. But yeah, because this comes out to Cane Run Road, and I just don't want to ride on this dinky little scooter on roads with no bike lanes and speed limits that are 35, 45 and up. I think that's just asking for it. So I'm not actually going to get all the way to Chickasaw Park or Shawnee Park. So I didn't quite make that amount of the trip. But I did make it, you know, within about 3 miles of Chickasaw Park. So now I'm going back down Campground Road to try to get back onto the Ohio River Levee Trail, or the Levee Trail, or whatever it's called, and go back to Riverview Park / Greenwood Boat Docks. Yeah, so if you're wanting to come through here on a standard pedal bicycle, I don't know that I'd recommend trying to go all the way from you know, Riverview Park or any of those locations, and going all the way to Chickasaw and Shawnee Park and downtown, because you do have to go a pretty decent stretch without bike lanes, especially if it's during, you know, rush hour traffic or heavy traffic times. So I don't know that I would necessarily recommend that. And then also, I don't know that I would, if you have, you know, e-vehicles like this scooter, it does 19 miles an hour, but I don't know that I would really want to ride that on a road with a 35 mile per hour plus speed limit and no bike lane. Even though you're allowed to, I don't know, I want to. If you have faster PEVs, personal electronic vehicles, so if you have, you know, electric unicycle or something like that that goes at faster speed, you might be okay. Or if you have one of the e-bikes that, you know, class 3 or faster speed, you might be okay. Get you a little bit closer to the actual speed limit. But I don't know that I would want to take something that it's going to have you below 20 miles per hour. So I guess that in one respect is not a success, because I didn't go all the way to one of those parks. But I did get to see where all the trails go around back through here. And then your dedicated trails end, and you're just kind of on these bike paths. And then there's the sections where the bike lane ends, and then you're just on your own. So if you're wanting to go through this section of the Louisville Loop, I guess that gives you an overview of what it looks like. But yeah, so I guess that'll wrap up this video where I started at Riverview Park, Greenwood Boat Docks, and just tried to see how far I could go. Now I'm turning back. So yeah, that'll wrap up this video. Until next time. After I finished recording for this video, on the way back to my car, I recorded video off and on, and unfortunately I was not recording video when I got into an accident and crashed. I actually don't remember exactly what happened during the incident because I did sustain a concussion, and I did get 3 fractures in my face, mostly around the orbital bone that goes around like your cheek and eye. Again, I don't know what happened. It was where I got into the accident was a relatively flat part of road that was where there was the dedicated bike lane, so it was pretty close back to the beginning of where I started recording, where I parked. Again, I don't know what happened, so it's possible that an animal ran out in front of me or somebody else was on the path that caused something, because it was a pretty flat, straight part, and I, you know, am pretty well adept at using the scooters, and I've had, you know, years of experience, and I typically don't do anything too risky on those. So but two, just, you know, as a PSA, make sure you wear a helmet. I was wearing a helmet, and on my helmet there was some portion that was kind of dented in and scratched on the right side, just where I got the majority of the impact of my face. So that could have been a bit worse if there was no helmet, and it scratched up on the other side some as well. So you know, I have 3 fractures in my face that luckily, as far as I'm aware, don't require surgery. That should heal, just take about a month. But it could have been quite a bit worse if I wasn't wearing a helmet. And again, this is something where I have a little bit of experience riding these scooters. I wasn't doing anything crazy. I was on the flat stretch. That was the separated, you know, bike lane going back to my car. Don't know what happened at this point still. I can't remember. So just a reminder that, you know, that kind of stuff can happen anytime to anyone, anywhere. And wearing a helmet is one way to prevent, you know, serious injuries, brain injuries, things like that from happening.